Hello, I'm Robert Hinderleiter with Powerwash.com. I'm the environmental specialist here at Powerwash.com. I was also the founder of PWNA and UAMCC, two professional trade associations for the mobile power wash industry. Right now, my objective is to show you how simple and easy it is to remediate your wash water. For most people, being environmental compliant doesn't mean recycling. It means taking your wash water and discharging it to sanitary sewer. So that's what this system I have set up behind me has been designed to do. Clean up your wash water enough to get it to sanitary sewer. And then if you need to recycle, you can take this off and send it through a 200 micron and a 5 micron pleated filters in order to recycle up to 16 hours. Then you need to discharge your wastewater. The system's pretty simple. My test bed's been Michael Wash Bay. He can do 2 trucks at a time, and he gets everything under the sun from oil fields to just regular over-the-road tractor trailer rigs. And some of them have really a lot of silt and sludge in there. In order to handle the sludge, that's the biggest problem that you're going to run into on any deal. You need to be able to handle sludge by the hundreds of pounds. This is done with a 55-gallon bag filter, 800 microns, and depending on how good a job you do on the wash pad, depends on how much you're going to collect in here. It gets up to 25 to 35 pounds. You need to go ahead and dump the silt and sludge out of it. Now this is your primary separation tank, and this is your secondary separation tower. And if you do a good job on the wash pad, you don't have a lot here. Today we're gonna put a sump pump down in Michael's sump. Here's the sump pump we're going to use. This pump can run dry for an hour or two, but it's going to pump continuously and it'll eject air into the systems. I'll get more into that later. I'm going to put it into 800 micron bag filter, and I'm going to put it into basically a trash can to help get the real heavy stuff back. Now then, in this particular, the first one, hydrocarbons and silt sludge tank, you're going to have a deal like this, a separation tower, and it's going to draw below the surface. I'll show you how that's done in a minute. And then we're going to have an oil absorbent boom that's put down in here to help collect the hydrocarbons. Now, the way this is designed, it sets in here like so, and then it's got holes here, and your sump pump sets up here, so it's pulling water below the surface. The surface water is going to be about here, and it's pulling the water from down here. So now then, in the next one that we go into, it's got the same secondary separation tower, but it's going to pull water from this side. It's going to pull from over here. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to the camera. And then it's going to go into this one, your primary separation tower, and the outlet of it's going to be on the bottom. So the wastewater will have to exit on the inside of the drum down here, and then it'll travel up to here and it'll be sucked out by the sump pump. From here it's going to go into hydrocarbon silt separator, and when it goes through that, it'll go down into 150 micron bag filter, and then it'll be pulled up. By that time there'll be no oil sheen and almost no silt into the system. This has to be gravity flow, so this is basically a water tower so that when we come out of this, we'll go into this. So I'll take just a second to get this set up and then I'll be right back. I want to show you a little bit about this hydrocarbon silt separator pod. This has been designed and has extensive use in the kitchen exhaust industry. We're also going to put a hydrocarbon absorbent pad in here. It's got another barrier, and then it's got a dam here to where the water's got to come up through. So anytime the water's got to go up and down, it helps get out the hydrocarbons. And then we have more sludge than what they normally have in the kitchen exhaust cleaning business. So the water goes through right there. You got these plates, coalescing plates going through here. They're made out of polypropylene, which has got an affinity for hydrocarbons. That's the same thing those filters are made out of. So you can take that out and clean it. Most of the guys that have these in use just take this out and wash it out in a wash bay or something, wherever they're at. This has got a restrictor barb in it, restrictor hole in here. This goes in here like so, and this restriction flow, this has got a one-way check valve for air, so it's going to pull air down in through here. Air entrapment and flotation helps separate out the hydrocarbons. Okay, I'm going to finish putting this up and I'll be right back again. I want to show you a little bit about what's on this bay. You notice we got a tractor over here that they're doing, and they're doing a complete degrease job, which a lot of you won't do on a mobile situation. So the water comes down here, it's picked up in that trench around the outside, goes down there and goes into the sump pump, or sump down there where they pick it up, and then they have a grease trap that's hooked up to sanitary sewer to the city of Fort Worth. So if you'll follow me up here, I'll show you the grease trap where we're going to be discharging our water to. We'll be legal to discharge directly into the sanitary sewer, but this is where we're testing everything at. I'm back. I got all this set up now. We're pulling water out of there and pushing it into the sludge pod. And when that gets up to here, well, it's going to push it over in here to the second stage for the silt pod here. Then it's going to go through the hydrocarbons pod and silt separator pod. And then each one of these has got an oil absorbent boom down in there. Put this one down here. So we have the sump pump down here running. Right now, so you can see that. We're putting out about 16 gallons a minute, and it's going through the 800 micron 55-gallon bag filter. And we're coming up to there. As soon as this gets up here, we're going to go from 800 microns down to 200 microns. And from there, it's going to be picked up and put down to this water tower, so that this has been designed for kitchen exhaust so that it's for gravity flow. and this will inject air into the stream. So it'll come through here. It'll be clean enough, pretty clean already. Then it'll go down in here. This will take it down to 150 to 100 microns at this point. Right now I got a 150 micron filter in it. And when this fills up, it'll shove it on up to the sanitary sewer in the city of Fort Worth. This is going to take all your sludge out of it down to where you have silt. Okay, we'll be back in a second when we get the rest of these containers full of water. This is the sludge pod, and if you see over here the water is starting to come up from the bottom. I'll plug it in and kick this pump on in a moment, but you notice that it's fairly clean already. Getting a few hydrocarbons to build up there, and then we have the oil absorbent boom to try to capture some. At this point in time, I'll go ahead and bring on this one, and I'll leave it running. Now, it runs continuous, so that it will also start injecting air into the system. Here we go. This is a 200 micron bag filter now that we're going into. And then again, it's going to exit over here and come through there, and this sump pump's going to pull about 6 inches off the bottom. As you can see, that's starting to get cleaned up a little bit. Are you still taking? We're about half full on this one over here. This will stay about that level. Now normally for the contract cleaner, you won't be setting these up like this. You'll have them permanently mounted on your trailer, or where you can get them on and off. So you just have to have room for basically 3 55-gallon drums sitting on there. This is going to set up above because it's set up for gravity flow down into here. So you'll have basically a minimum of 4 sump pumps, 1, 2, 3, and then the one down in the on your wash pad or bay down there, which we have ours in this sump. But you're going to dam it up some way to capture that water out on a mobile situation. The simplest way to get your water ready for sanitary sewer is through filtration. So we have had a lot of different materials we tested. Nylon seems to be the best material because you can lay it down and you can power wash it. It's fairly chemical resistant, although it's not the least expensive one as far as the initial purchase, but it's the least expensive one when you consider the life of the filter. You can reuse it again and again. We're almost getting up here to where we can get into this one. Those pumps are good for 16 gallons a minute, The water flow through this hydrocarbon silt separator is 25 gallons a minute, but you need to take it down to run your water through an oil absorbent material and 200 microns before you go into this, because otherwise you'll slug it down with sludge. So we've taken all that out. Then it drops it into here for your polishing tank pod, and it goes through 150 to 75 or 80 micron bag filter. Good morning, it's about noon. We've been running almost 24 hours, not 24 hours, but a full day. It was the recycling that we're running over here. We're going to show you that in a minute. This is the couple of trucks that are being done right now. So, and on over there is a steam away truck. They got about 5 or 6 of those units, and they pick up the wastewater and bring it back here and drop it on this pad. So they can bring back 500 to 1,500 gallons of used wastewater, and then they drop it here on this pad that picks it up and shoves it up into the sand trap. So I want to take you up here and show you the sand trap. Normally you won't have this. In other words, under normal conditions, you would take this discharge hose and take it to sanitary sewer. If there's a sand trap, a grease trap, oil water separator, anything like that, you want to go to that first. Discharge it into whatever you get the most remediation for. If there's nothing else available, according to the EPA's model ordinance, you can discharge into the sanitary sewer through the cleanout port. As I said before, they have this trench coming over here, and right down here is the sump. And normally they have this sump pump in there that just picks it up and pumps the water up to the grease trap. I'm picking it up here in order to do a test. In other words, they're not required to do any remediation from picking it up down here, except for they go into the sand trap. I call it the grease trap. It's a sand trap to go into the city of Fort Worth sanitary sewer system, and they bring all their trucks back in and dump on this pad and go in there. So we've been running this probably close to 12 hours of this type of washing. So we get a lot of stuff in here, so wanted to kind of show you a little bit what this looks like. If you'll bring the camera over here so you can show inside these drums. This is pod number 1, which is your sludge filter. That's always the biggest problem in these systems, getting them sludged down and stopping everything up. So we have a 500 or 800 micron bag filter that goes into this 55-gallon drum, and then the sump pump pulls from below the surface to leave your hydrocarbons there. You notice there's not very many hydrocarbons here because we're soaking them up with those oil absorbent booms. Then it goes into this one, which is a 200 micron bag filter. Take it on down. They've been using pretty heavy detergent here, I see. And then again, the sump pump picks that up and shoves it up here. This is basically this hydrocarbon silt separator is based on gravity flow. So this is set up so we can go through gravity flow. This is a restrictor right here, so it'll suck air into there, and that's what we're doing here with air entrapment and flotation. Each one of these places we're adding some air into it to take advantage of an inexpensive technology. It goes through here. We'll open this up later today and show you. And then this discharges down into a 150 micron bag filter. You want to come on around here a little bit closer, and then it goes into this 150 micron bag filter, which is your primary separation tower and your secondary separation tower. And you notice there's just not any oil collecting on the top of this, but we also have a oil absorbent boom down in here. Pick it up. As you see, it's picking everything up. It's not losing anything. From here, this water is discharged to the sand trap. But since we have a sand trap here, we need to use a sand trap, but we'd be legal of discharging into the sanitary sewer cleanout port on the outside of the building. They're fixing to back this truck out here. No, it's the other one. We're going to show you this sand trap in just a minute. So we're pushing this about 110 feet. Right now I want to show you what the water looks like we got coming out of here. You know, it looks like about heavy iced tea, and notice there's no oil sheen. You can't feel any hydrocarbons or any sand or grit into it. There it flows down. The grease trap has two entrances. There's one that goes down in there. Then of course this is the main one right down here, and they have a sand trap service that comes in here about every 3 weeks and picks up about 1,500 pounds of sludge out of this pit here. So it has to come in on a regular basis to pull it out. So that's a combined discharge from the mobile wash operation, which is 6 or 7 vehicles or wash truck, plus everything that's done on this pad. So that's what we got going through this remediation system that I use. I don't believe there's any average contractor that's gonna even process anywhere near the amount of sludge that I've designed this system to do. If you got any questions on that, give me a call. The easiest way to reach me is on my cell phone, 817-366-3041. All right, we're going to go down here and show you the inside of this stuff and take a look at the remediation, the hydrocarbons and everything that we caught. All right, we've been running here for at least 8 hours, over 8 hours, and on that time we've had 2 trucks on the wash bay almost all the time. So we appreciate Steamaway letting us use their wash bay to do our testing and developmental testing and video for you guys. So right now I'm going to shut down this system, the Multitech, and put Michael's system back in service. Then when we clean this out, we'll just run it down in here because this is going to be picked up to go to sand trap. So whenever you do it, you need to discharge the sand trap, grease trap, low water separator, or into the POTW in the most remediation way possible. So we're going to sit down and let you take a look at some of these filters after 8 hours of use. First thing we're going to have to do is unplug the sump pump. Down here. Make a switcheroo. Whoops. Here's the sump pump after it's been running for a while. That's got an 800 micron bag filter in it. 18 by 28. Of course, we got them for sale. Get the Steamaway sludge pump back running again. I guess that's okay. Here is the sump pump, which runs continuous. There's the bag filter. What that does is keep the sump pump running all the time. So you're going to get just a little silt down through there. It'll help stop the sludge. We'll take that up in a minute. We'll clean all this stuff. Go ahead and disconnect these other pumps. Now we killed the power to everything. This is some wash water that we're discharging to the sanitary sewer. It's down to 150 microns. All right, disconnect this pump. Move it back over here out of the way. Pretty simple system. And I'll take out the bag filter, 55 gallons, 800 microns. It'll hold about 30 to 35 pounds of waste. And you see that after 8 hours, if you do good cleaning, do good work on your pad, you won't have much in here. So if you're getting a lot of sludge in here, it means your sump pump or your vacuum's picking up a lot of sludge, more than what it really needs to. So if you'll put that bag filter around your pump, you won't get that into your system. So see, that's not very dirty, and that's 8 hours worth of work washing 2 trucks at a time. Now then, here's the 200 micron bag filter. And with these oil absorbent pads in there, looks like we got more at 200 microns than we did at 800. Alright, I'm just going to drop that down on the pad because that's going to be picked up and go into the sand trap. So you'll have to do yours according to the situation that you have at hand. So there's what that looks like. We're going to clean those in a little bit. Now I'm going to pick up the 150 microns. As you see, it's real clean, but it caught a little bit in an 8-hour period. Not a lot. So that's, I think, an acceptable level of waste for about any contract cleaner. I don't know, they might have been a pound in there, maybe 2 pounds in those other two. Not much. So what I tried to do was stop everything on the wash pad. You know, before you pick it up, don't shove it into your system. If you're shoving all that garbage into your system, you already made your first mistake. Here we are. This is the sludge pod number 1. You see there's almost no hydrocarbons here because they've all been absorbed into this oil absorbent. So you have very little hydrocarbons to pick up here. You can either do it with a belt, but for a contract cleaner, my experience is this is the easiest way to do that. So that was that boom. Ooh, this boom's got a lot more on it. There's that one. Squeezing the water out of it. Put it down on the surface. Then I had 2 in here. I forgot I'd put 2 in here. Some people wring these out and reuse them again. See, the one on the other side had quite a bit more. Are you able to get a good focus down in here? See, again, almost there's not hardly any hydrocarbons because we've soaked it all up with those oil absorbent booms. Now you see some of them have stuck along the outside edge. See the outside edge there, and some of them stuck in there. We'll be dumping that in a little bit. Alright, we're going to take the top off of the Hydrocarbon Silt Separator, which is pod number 3. This was developed as a standalone item for the kitchen exhaust industry in order to handle our waste. We've had to put in pods 1, 2, and 4 in order to handle up to 16 gallons a minute of almost anything that the contract cleaner's going to throw at it. Pardon me. All right, here the top comes off. Some hydrocarbons up there, a lot of times that's just completely coated. And again, we have another oil absorbent material in there, filter to catch the hydrocarbons. There's not any hydrocarbons floating on top. Now then, if you don't have an oil absorbent material in there, those hydrocarbons are going to be floating above. Pull this out. We got some hydrocarbons stuck on this material here. There. And there's quite a little bit of silt in the bottom here. Probably about a pound. If you can see that silt in the bottom. Surprising how much gets past all these filters. So the cheapest way to get all this out is multi-stages. Don't expect to get everything in one pass. We're on top of the Hydrocarbon Silt Separator pod, which is pod number 3, and you notice there's almost no hydrocarbons floating on the top because we picked them up with our oil absorbent material. I actually used 2 different materials in these pads, 2 different styles, in order to try to capture everything that might come flowing through there. There's what that looks like, and everything's going to be up and over. We'll dump that out in a second. All right, we're going to take the water out of these drums, and the guys in the field have told me this secret. Says you take the water out of here and put it into this one, and then you take the water out of this one and put it through here, and then you take the water out of here and put it in your system and drain it last. Now then, normally I already taken these filters out. Normally these filters would still be in here, but I wanted to show you what they were doing coming out. I guess I maybe did it out of order a little bit. First I got to plug all these things back in. So now we're going to have 3 of these sump pumps running. Simply going to pick this up, just drop it down in here, start sucking this down. Am I standing in the way? Now then, if you're not careful, you let go of this hose right here, well, it just throws water all over. I was doing a job with a contractor like that, and that's what happened, and we sprayed the whole restaurant down. So don't want to make that mistake twice in a row. Okay, I've sumped each one of these tanks out down to where there's just a little bit of water, and shot it over to the sand trap. So now we're going to disassemble this and take it down here and start cleaning these drums up. So a little prep work here. Put those down over there. This is on here to keep this tower. When we ship this out to you, these on the counter, you're going to have to do your own installation. Try to get there. We got it. Got that tied on there so it'll stay up. Whoops, didn't intend to drop that down in there. Water fills up to about right in there when it's running full blast. Oh! Can we get a shot of this with the camera? Are you too far back?
Nope.
All right. This is another barrier. Every place you have a barrier, you're gonna... But you notice I picked that up with no problems. You can too. There's a little bit of sludge in the bottom of here. I shouldn't say sludge, there's a little bit of silt in there. Not much, but a little. Basically, I figured most of you are going to mount this on a trailer, so you're going to do a custom installation. And of course, if you want to pay a little extra, I'm sure Michael will mount it on your trailer and we'll get it all set up for you. Okay. I would guess we got 5 gallons of water in there. But I didn't get sumped out. There's a little silt down in the bottom of this. Tell me what angle. Is that a good angle there?
That's a good angle.
Okay. A little bit of silt, maybe 1/8 of an inch in the bottom. And we'll pressure wash that in a minute. Get all that out of there. Pretty basic system. I did a better job on this side. We only probably got about 1.5 gallons of water over here. Can you see down in there?
Tilt it down a little bit. There you go.
Okay. Got a good, there's just a little bit of silt in there and a little bit of hydrocarbon stuck around the edge. You don't want to stop everything at once. You want to stop it in stages to keep the expense down. Probably about 4 gallons in this one. Oh no, probably more like 5. Sending that to the sand trap. This is pod number 2. Got a good picture? Okay, I guess you can stop your DVRs and freeze frame it. All right, this is pod number 1. Remember, it just has the secondary separation tower in it. Woo, it's probably got close to 1 gallon of sludge in the bottom of this barrel. This probably has more sludge in it than the other barrels combined, because this is what it is. This is your sludge barrel. And if you don't have that filter on your sump pump, then it's going to dump all that sludge in here too. And that'll be caught in your 800 Micron Bag Filter. All right, we'll lay all these over. I'll go see if I can borrow a pressure one. and we'll start cleaning this stuff up. We got one of Michael's. Well, I like cleaning this up like this. Woo! I guess like this. So much for that. You guys are all professional power washers, so I'm not going to make you watch me do all those. The other thing I wanted you to see was power washing these bag filters. $150 micron, 200 micron, 800 micron. Got to stand on it or it'll go sailing. So these will last pretty good as long as you take care of them. My own personal preference is to turn them inside out. And wash them from both sides. Be ready for the next job. There we go. This time I'll wash from the top down. Flip it over. Now we're going to get the bottom. Of course, if you want to do a little bit better job, you use a little hot water and soap. I'm doing this with just cold water to show you the capabilities, what can be done. Stand on it so don't go sailing. This is the 150 micron filter. For you newbies, be careful you don't shoot yourself in the foot. I like leather shoes soaked in neat's foot oil. And they'll make the leather waterproof for about 2 hours standing in water. I like that better than the rubber boots. However, if I'm going to be standing in water all day long, I'll relent and use the rubber boots. All right, I think that shows you everything that we need to put on this tape. I appreciate your time for looking at it. I'm Robert Hinderleiter, Environmental President of PWNA and the Environmental Specialist here at Powerwash.com, and I would advise you to join PWNA because it's a wonderful association and you can meet people all across the country, and you'll probably learn more from the cocktail hour and stuff than you will going to all the seminars, although they got certification and everything else going right now. If there's any way I can help you, please give me a call at 800-211-0286, and feel free to use my cell phone, 817-366-3041. Thank you very much and have a Happy New Year.